Hey friends and family, my name is Skylent, and I want to talk about graphics in MMO, and the gameplay in the background finally is going to be of RuneScape, which I need to play a little bit more of, but with the 117 HD plugin that you can actually play on the Runelite client. Most people who play RuneScape, old school RuneScape, do play on the Runelite client, and there's been a lot of drama with this plugin, so there it is. You probably know of it, but if you don't, there's this new plugin that makes old school RuneScape, which looks pretty old school, just a little bit less old and still actually contains the same charm of RuneScape. So how much worth is this? Was it really worth actually getting up in arms about everything, all the drama? And I'm just assuming that you know that. You probably saw Josh Strife Hayes' video on that and everyone else reporting and regurgitating the drama. I didn't want to do that. I want to kill the world with kindness now. That's kind of my new way of being toxic, and I want to just kind of hype this up. So basically, I've been playing RuneScape on my phone a little bit. I'm just still running through the free-to-play quests. I've done it a few times on some accounts over the years, but I wanted to do it proper and actually play through the membership quests as well in RuneScape and really give it a fair shake for the endgame. Of course, old school RuneScape. Maybe eventually I'll do the new RuneScape or whatever. But one thing that's kind of held me back a little bit from continuing to play RuneScape isn't going to be the gameplay, because I got nostalgia goggles, I'm cool with that. It's going to be the overall discomfort of the quality of life stuff, and it's definitely, to an extent, the graphics actually. I'm somebody who I think I can play any old school game for the most part. I actually love the retro graphics of something like Roller Coaster Tycoon. I'm about to go play Age of Empires 2. Sure, why not? I don't really mind. Old school shooters, I don't mind. There's so many things I don't mind, but when it sort of somewhat interferes with gameplay and maybe the graphics are too obscure, and it's not a horror game. That actually plays well with horror games. But if it's too obscure and it's too clunky, it does kind of decentivize me from wanting to play more. So this plugin, which literally maintains the integrity, I think, of the charm and the cartooniness of RuneScape, but then extends, the view distance, makes everything prettier, more colorful, literally more vibrant, and a little bit more detailed. Everything's a little bit more sharper. Everything is just basically better. Then yeah, it's gonna make me want to play a little bit more, especially on my computer. Now, of course, I guess I can always jump on my phone and play old school RuneScape on that, and I do enjoy it. I definitely have been promoting RuneScape on list videos for mobile games for a while. I like it, but this plugin, I don't know, makes it really cool. Now, it's not to the extent of like the graphical overhaul with like the cinematics and everything of the new RuneScape or RuneScape 3, with a evolution of combat update and stuff like that. It's not going to be to that extent, but it absolutely refreshes the old school experience for me. And I don't know if you guys have ever had this experience, but sometimes you have memories, of like Crash Bandicoot or Spyro, and like it looks better in your memories, like Mario 64, and then you go back and play it and you're like, oh yeah, I mean, it's playable, but like, yeah. And then you see the remakes and you're like, oh boy. Yeah, so this game, this update, this plugin, not exactly like a whole new game, a whole new remaster or anything, but it did change the textures. There is some post-processing, there is some stuff you can do with it that absolutely makes me want to play longer. And in fact, I was just going to jump on and just kind of move the camera around, do some A/B testing a little bit with the, the plugin on and off. But actually, I just started doing one of the quests, one of the newer quests that they added, the Corsair's Curse, which is, God, man, RuneScape's charm is just there. It's always there. I love the questing, and that's all I need. I play this game like it's a sort of like a dioramic sort of pop-up book, a playable fable of sorts. It's a comic book, but in like video game form. It's self-aware, it's hilarious, and the cartoony, stupid graphics, the low poly art style, I think actually works for it, but making it more vibrant, pop out just a little bit more, makes it better, in my opinion. So yeah, the graphics do matter in a video game, who would imagine that? But inside of an MMO, which generally they're very noisy, very crunchy, I don't know, there's a lot going on, and there's a lack of clarity often. Does it matter in just general MMOs? Well, I think so. I think in a game that has so many players, even in RuneScape, which is sort of almost turn-based, actually, tick-based and tile-based, and, all this stuff, and it actually, the game is pretty simplistic, still, with just a little bit cleaner graphics, all of a sudden I can more easily find my bearing in the game. More easily, I can kind of discern what I'm actually clicking on. Because I remember back in the day playing on my E-machine, with my dial-up internet, playing RuneScape, things were very obscure and very awkward. And I'm sure a lot of you guys had this experience experience playing games, even modern games like Guild Wars 2 to an extent, World of Warcraft maybe to a lesser extent, but definitely like Final Fantasy 14, I'm having this big problem. You know, where sort of like the visuals are just a little messy and they're just a little awkward. And I think actually it's really cool that, yeah, Final Fantasy 14 and World of Warcraft allows add-ons and things like that, but especially Final Fantasy 14 allows for graphical overhauls where you can actually update it and get shaders and stuff like that. And I think more games need to do that. So that's really what I want to champion here is, hey guys, RuneScape's still freaking cool. You know, I mean, old school RuneScape isn't unpopular. Still go play it, and this is a great excuse to go jump back in if maybe your nostalgia goggles were a little fogged, you know, maybe it wasn't as good, or if you're a new player and the graphics were just a little too dull. Actually, this makes it pop a lot more, and I think you can better understand the game if you actually play with these graphics. So absolutely full recommend to get Runelite for quality of life changes, and that's really what I want to rant about today, but get the quality of life changes and new add-ons. I still got to get some. Hopefully there's some for quest text because it's very hard to read. And then yeah, you know, definitely get 117 HD, absolutely required. Do it, done. So easy actually with the Runelite plugin to our Runelite client to add in new plugins. It's just like built in. Super amazing with the browser and everything. Okay, so next, talking about graphics. Yes, I think all MMOs need to take their graphics way more seriously. I actually really demonize when people are like, graphics don't matter. Holy crap, yes they do, especially in MMOs. But then again, the MMO audience is kind of of the mindset that they just rather see the numbers. They rather just see the UI and sort of pilot their character like a vehicle versus being truly immersed. Now me, I like basically no HUD, no anything. I like big, you know, clear graphics, which I guess World of Warcraft really championed. And that's you know, that's the direction I want games to go in. But if we can't go in that direction, or everyone has different opinions, because MMOs are played very differently, vastly differently, based on, you know, personality types or what you want to do, because, you know, living, breathing worlds, you can do whatever you want, sure. Then I really want games to do kind of what Minecraft did, or now RuneScape is allowing, where you can actually have these plugins and add-ons to change the way you play the game. Sure, you know, World of Warcraft did that, but also graphical overhauls to allow people to really fine-tune so that it can run on their machine. That's a big thing. That is what big problem with MMOs is overall quality of life is very bad, to a point where they do it on purpose to sell you back quality of life, but that's a whole nother video. But the thing is that MMOs are meant to be played by lots of different people, and you want to invite your friends in to play with you, and you just want more people to play the game so it feels more alive and just better and good. But the big speed bump that happens to a lot of new players is the clunkiness of the graphics. Graphics can be clunky because it's a video game, and how you interact with your UI and with the game, the user experience, freaking matters to the gameplay. It is the gameplay. Goodness. So allowing us to move around the UI, completely customize the UI, but then also the graphics within there, you know, not just like, okay, low lighting, high lighting, view distance, stuff like that, but maybe even fully just allow us to change textures, allow us to really customize this, color blindness, all that. And I really think just allowing players just to open it up, make it open, allow mods, allow add-ons, because the development of this stuff is pretty complicated and pretty time intensive, and a lot of this maybe, you know, each individual thing like color blindness or something like this or that, that's all for niche audiences, but allowing for something that's more open source that lets us just do what we want for our particular problems, or, you know, this community's particular interests. Like maybe somebody wants RuneScape to have a totally different vibe. For me personally, I love the Halloween aesthetic. So actually the OG aesthetic of RuneScape is good for me, but some people do want it to be, instead of like a black sky and with, you know, lighting and torches, they want it more dim, more colorless, and then maybe also misty. They want it more gray. They want it more moody in that sense. And that can change how the game feels and plays, and it helps them vibe with the experience overall. And I think that's totally cool. I think we need more of that. I really don't see why more games don't adopt the things from extremely popular games such as Minecraft. And now, of course, we see RuneScape doing it. I just want more customization in my MMOs, because I feel like that's just so in the spirit of MMOs being generally PC gaming experiences, being experiences of role-playing and immersion, and it's so weird that we have so many speed bumps towards that immersion when easily they could just allow us to create, ramps, speed jumps over these speed bumps, so that we can actually get into the game and have a better experience, or maybe just refresh it. Maybe sometimes you just want to change things up, change how things look. So me personally, I change my keybinds very often on purpose, sort of confuse myself, muscle confusion, and make the game sort of like a new game again, So I think that's cool, and yes, I think to an extent the visuals do that. I mean, how many of you guys just change your textures in Minecraft just for the fun of it? Sure, I bet most of us do love the OG aesthetic of Minecraft, but every once in a while, throw on like something super realistic. Maybe every once in a while do something that's like cookie themed or sugar themed, and it's just fun. And the visuals alone can change the game to be a totally different mood. And in my opinion, mood and immersion and MMOs, all that kind of goes together. So yeah, this is kind of a soft review. RuneScape's still fun. I'm actually having way more fun than I thought. I'm gonna keep questing, gonna finish this out today. But yeah, the HT plugin, it's back, it's in. So glad that Jagex actually allowed for this. This is awesome. This is definitely a big win, not just for RuneScape, but also for, I think, in general, online gaming or games as a services, seeing the outcry of what happened here and noticing that, okay, well, people do like mods, which actually we see Fallout 76 doing Fallout Worlds now, allowing people to have modded and customized worlds. Awesome. We need more and more stuff like this. Maybe we'll have public-private servers where people can just make servers of World of Warcraft now officially in the client. Things like that where we can fine-tune and customize our own experience. I think MMOs are starting to realize, oh, that is a little bit the point of MMOs, isn't it? Okay, we should at least allow this as an option. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. But yeah, that's it. That's the video. Much love. My name's Skylent, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.